Paid ads are great, okay? Paid ads can help you accelerate and get leverage. There's a risk to them. No matter what, you don't know. These numbers are not set in stone. You might get way worse. You might get a little bit better. But the bottom line, there's always a risk to it. The great thing is, though, is like you just don't want to rely solely on paid ads because Facebook can just bitch slap you in a second. Welcome to Gym Owner Freedom. I am Scott Carpenter, and I am a former broke, struggling, frustrated, and overworked gym owner that felt stuck no matter what I did to try and improve the business. Once I realized that the answer wasn't what I thought it was, just getting more clients, and after really doing the math on acquisition and churn rates, I realized I wasn't even playing a winnable game to begin with. With my current price structure, mathematically, there was no way I could afford to pay my staff so I could scale up and out of the business, that I can have the time, the money, the impact, and the freedom that I always knew I was capable of. Once I learned how to add value by selling transformational programs to people who needed more than just workouts, everything changed in my life. Today, I own 6 gyms that all run without me, and I am free to pursue my passion projects and work just because I love to, not because I have to. And if that's a goal that we mutually share together, then this is the show for you. I'm going to teach you the framework to make way more money with less clients and open up a world of possibilities to you. Subscribe, leave a review, and tune in every week. It'll change your life. I promise you that. But guys, so those of you know, we're in the process of the build out of our 7th gym. So we're throwing that up in Mesa, Arizona. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to get this thing to $1 million in no time. Shoot, man, we're going to share that whole journey as we move along with it. But today we've got a really juicy one, man, because so many of you struggle with it. Whether you're running ads now, you've run them in the past, you've gotten frustrated. It's like, am I getting my money back out of this? A lot of times it's no. And so today we're going to talk about, if the ads are just eating your profit, you're going to learn our one client break-even strategy. And this has gotten a lot of attention because a lot of people, who were you just talking to that we work with that formerly, how many clients a week did they need to sign up to break even?
Yeah, I forgot. It was 5. It was 5 a week. It's I think it was Kelly who I'm actually onboarding today. That was her math. It was 5 a week was what her the break even.
Right. It was Kelly. And she's saying, she's got to sign up 5 new clients a week to make her money back in paid ads. And this is pretty freaking common. Yours might not be that high, but it might be 3 a week. It might be 4 a week, depending on your math situation. But shit, guys,
don't forget to record, by the way. You always forget to hit the freaking record button, Scott. I gotta keep you on your game, man.
God, I'm such an idiot. I'm such an idiot. So anyways, we'll recap that. Kelly, right? We just signed her up. Presently, with the system she's running, she's got to sign up 5 new clients every week just to make her money back on the total that it costs her to have somebody run the ads and the ad spend. And so we're going to go over our one client break-even strategy, which has made the paid ad game so much easier and a massive, massive competitive advantage. And this is why some people will do paid ads and then they'll stop and it just doesn't work for me anymore. Massively common. Most of the stuff out there that's being taught, and a lot of it's like that old gym launch strategy, right? Hey, do a $4.99 to $5.99 6-week front end offer. But man, the grind on that to get your money back, and then you have a churn factory because you're bringing a lot of, frankly, lower ticket clients. You're bringing on a free premise. Retention's really hard, and you've got a churn factor in your hands, and it's just difficult. And so people started asking, how the hell are you setting up one person making all your money back? And so we're going to get into that today. And I think it'll be really good if we just opened up a spreadsheet and worked through the math together so you guys understand the math of marketing and how it all works and what's common out there. If you want to see what's common out there in the field, and then if you want to see what we're getting in our gyms and people are working with us with our system, we'll show you that as well. So what I'm going to do is open up real quick. Let me share a screen and we'll open up a Google Sheets. How's that? Let me know if you guys see this online too, if I'm sharing the right screen, because I got a wide monitor. I don't know if I am. But we are comment if you can see it too, opening up Google Sheets right now. Can you see it, Dave?
Yeah, we're good to go.
Boom. All right. Love it. Okay. So let's take a look. Let's say we're going to have to make some assumptions here because everybody's going to be a little bit different. But let's say we have a front end package that you're selling. Okay. Let's up the font so you guys can read this. Front end package. Let's say you're selling that at $3.99. Okay. Let's make the fonts bigger. There we go. Okay. So you got $3.99. Now let's say you're doing paid ads and you're getting in 100 leads a month. Okay. 100 leads a month. Obviously, that's going to vary depending on your cost per lead. That's going to vary. And we'll talk about that in a second. But it's going to vary based on how much you're spending, of course. So out of 100 leads, let's talk about how many might get scheduled. If you're on your freaking game, if you've got some great automations to help you out, if you're also hustling, because the automations, guys, just don't work like they used to. If you're hustling, okay, and doing the nurture, you're doing manual reach outs, manual phone calls in addition. Out of 100 leads, Dave, what do you think we should say as, hey, how many % get scheduled?
Oh, man, that's a good question. It's less than 50%.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure. So, I mean, I talk with a ton of different gym owners, and some people get in 10. The highest I've seen is probably 40. Like 40% of leads scheduling. And again, those are ones where it's probably automated right there where they pick a day and time. The higher this number is, likelier the higher no-show rates you're going to get too. So know that there's an inverse relationship on that. Let's be very generous and say out of 100 leads, you were scheduling 40 of them. Okay. It's pretty generous, but I've seen it before. I have, right? With really good systems. Okay. Now out of those, what percentage do you think would show? So if you're getting in a lot, very high percentage, I would say, and we'll put over here, we'll put like 40%. We'll put kind of a side note in this column to keep a tab on our percentages for you guys. How's that sound? So we're going to say we're going to schedule 40%. The ones that show up, if you're scheduling that many, I'm saying no more than 30%.
Yeah.
Like, and that's, if you're scheduling 40 out of 100, yeah, you would not schedule more than 30. 30% wouldn't, more than 30% wouldn't show up. So if you got 40 people scheduled, let's say 12 are showing up. Okay. So let's go to the close now. So close. Now, remember, ads coming in cold off of Facebook and Instagram generally tend to be lower. So when people are like, oh, I just need more people in front of me, I close 80, 90% at least. Yep. So do we. Okay. But at the end of the day, when they're really cold coming in from Facebook and Instagram, that's usually not the case. Organic, you should be 80% plus close rate, hands down. Okay. When it comes to Facebook, that's not always the case. Let's say, because there's just some garbage stuff that no matter how your ads are set up, you're going to have come in anyways. So let's say maybe a 50% close rate. Does that sound good, Dave?
Yeah, I think for cold, I think that's spot on. You're doing a good job if you're closing 50%.
Yeah. And keep in mind, guys, these aren't really, these are not really just numbers we're pulling out of our asses. We talk with hundreds of gym owners on a normal basis. So this is pretty average for what we see. And in some cases, we're kind of giving the benefit of the doubt on it. So let's say we get 6 across the board out of 100. Now I've seen that be higher consistently, maybe not so much. But the people that are maybe doing 20 to 30 month, they're generally spending, they're getting in a lot more than 100 leads. They're spending a lot more too on ad spend. So the percentages really kind of hold pretty consistent. All right, cool. So you got 6 people across the board. So new clients equals 6, obviously, right? And remember, we have our front end revenue. So our package is $3.99. So you get 6 people in at $3.99. Pretty easy math so far. I think we're all following this. If you guys have any questions, throw comments below on it. Okay. Now, ad spend. So let's say this totally varies, of course. So if somebody's getting 100 leads, let's use a CPL, a cost per lead of $15. Now that's pretty good, but it's not uncommon. Sometimes in new campaigns in areas where there's not a lot of ads, you can see cost per leads at $6 to $8 for a while or permanently, right? In more competitive areas, you're going to be north of 20. But in general, like, let's just say CPL, that's probably one of the most common ones, as long as you have somebody decent running your ads or you're doing a decent job. Let's go with a CPL of 15, probably the most common. Okay. So if you got 100 leads at $15 per lead, that is obviously $1,500 in ad spend. Now, not many of you run your own ads. Some of you do. Let's say it's $1,000 a month to have somebody run your ads. Fair?
Mhm.
Some are less, some are more. Sometimes there's setup fees. Let's go with $1,000. It's a good average medium for what we see out there. Okay, so, but there are other costs to consider, right? Sales commission. Maybe you are doing the sales yourself as the owner operator. Maybe you're paying somebody at some point to do it. You always want to factor in these costs, though. And the reason is because you might enjoy working 40, 50 hours a week in your gym, 30 to 50, but you might not always want to do that. And more importantly than that, guys, that might be where you're at now. But you're doing, if you don't build your business like a real freaking business where you can be a stockholder and make money off of this and not have to run it, you're doing yourself a massive disservice. Run it like a real freaking business that you can scale, and you can choose to work 40 hours a week if you want, or you can choose to work 5 to 10 hours a week, or you can be like Dave and I, where we don't work in the gyms anymore at all. Regardless of what you want to do and how much you want to work in your gym, you need to build it to have the ability to run without you, should you choose to want to do that. And that's important, number one, in case you get hurt or injured, right? So you can still pay your bills and your and care for your family. But it's also really important because you might want to grow. You might want to do a second or a third or a fourth location. You might want to get into something else, online coaching. You might want to get into real estate. I don't know. But the bottom line is you got to run your business like a real business. Do not just run it where it's totally relying on you. There's no reason for you to take the risk and the personal guarantees and have $5,000 a month in rent when you have no freaking leverage on your time. You need to make the money, right, to help you live the best life you can. You also need to be able to buy your time back. That's the whole point in becoming a business owner. Fair? Okay. So sales commission. I don't know. Let's say you're paying 10%. We'll put over here. You're paying 10%. Now, this could vary wildly, right? But let's say 10% of $400 is $40 per, right? And we're signing up 6 people, right? So there's 240 in spend right there. Okay. Mm-hmm. Fulfillment. Now there are, it depends whether it's in group and it's not adding much, or maybe you have, your front end package could be a 6-week challenge. Your front end package could be, 3 or 4 PT sessions. Then you go into group. It's different for everybody, obviously, right? So your front end package might be $499, might be $599, might be $399. I'm using $399 just as an average of what I see. Yours is going to be more or less. You're going to have fulfillment costs that might be more or less. Let's just do the same amount, and maybe it's a 6-week challenge and they're thrown in groups. There's no extra payroll, but you do have somebody that does the nutrition and accountability that you have to pay for, right? And other associated costs. Also, there's 3% on the credit card fees. Like, we're not going to get that nitty gritty on it, but let's just say, hey, there's a $40 per person fulfillment cost. Okay. Yours might be, if you're doing PT, it's obviously going to be double that at least. Okay. But let's put in another $240 on fulfillment. All right. So let's look at our total expenses on this. And it's rough. It's ballpark. Yours are going to vary, but it's pretty average for what we see. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's do some Google Sheets magic. Equals sum, drag it, close parentheses. Okay. Your total expenses are $2,980. Okay. With this exact setup that we have. Now let's look at our total income. Mm-hmm. Our total income is equal to $399 times the number of new clients that we got in, correct? Mm-hmm. $2,394. Mm-hmm. Right. And so basically our income minus our expenses, $2,394 minus $2,980, we're negative $586 in the hole after acquiring 6 clients. That's the issue that people are running into. See what I'm talking about here? Now, the math doesn't change. You could get 200 leads a month in on this one. And all the percentages will remain the same, except you'll be $1,100 a month in the hole. Right? That's not good. Now, sure, you say, okay, well, maybe the cost per lead improves. I mean, likely not. Over time, it tends to go up until you're right. And you have to change your own ad copies and this and headlines. There's no guarantees, obviously. Facebook can make an algorithm change. It totally screws you up. Right? So the math of this is very precarious. Your schedule, you could get in more scheduled or more showed or more closed. That can happen too. But on average, man, if you're signing up 12 clients a month and it's costing you over $1,000 to do it, that's hard. And this is why we settle for where we're at. It's not easy. It is not easy. And all the work that goes into nurturing 100 leads. And again, I don't care what kind of automations you have, you're still freaking working those leads. Mm-hmm. You can get computers to do a lot for you, but not everything, especially in these days. To get good rates on shows and closes, dude, you gotta put your heart and soul in that. You gotta send some personal messages. It's work, right? And here's the thing. Let's talk about churn for a second. Let's say you have 150 members. Okay, 150 members. What do you want to use as churn, Dave?
Let's say pretty solid 6-8%.
Okay, let's go with 8. Let's go with 6. Let's say
let's go 6.
6 is very good.
Yeah.
If you're accurately tracking churn is so much higher than you think. 6 is really good.
Yep.
I've seen stuff as low as 4. Really uncommon though. Okay, but let's say we got 6% churn. So what is that? Let me pull up a calculator here. 150 members times 0.06 is equal to 9, right? 9 members lost each month. Boom. Okay. So if you got to sign up 9 members just to break even, but you're going negative in the hole every month to do it, do you see where this struggle comes in? And this is why people will run paid ads and they'll stop or this or that, or they're running consistently, but it's like their business is stuck. They're not growing because they're running ads and they're bringing in more revenue now. They're bringing in a lot more revenue, but the problem is your expenses are rising with it. In fact, they're matching everything. And this happens all the time with people running like the old 6-week challenge verbatim play. It's like, cool, I went from 20,000 a month to 30,000 a month, but my profit is the freaking same. I'm not making any more money. It's just now I have more clients and more work. And it all has to go perfectly. If one thing is wrong, if the ad starts getting stale and the cost per lead goes up, or if an automation breaks and it affects my scheduling a little bit, if I have a little bit lower close rate, like I'm really screwed. Like everything has to go perfect for you to actually grow in profit. And that's why most don't. Kelly, who you talk to, her numbers, 5 a week she has to sign up in order to break even. 20 a month. Dave, you and I don't even know if we've signed up 20 a month ever, have we?
When I was back in the day when I was at Arrowhead, maybe. And it was a heater fest. Maybe
like 1 month. I think when you're like, hey, I'm going to do this. But like we have 6 gyms, okay, starting up a 7th. We've maybe signed up 20 members once or twice out of all of those gyms. And the thing is, we just don't need to. We don't need to do it. So when Dave went on a heater, I think I've got a photo of it somewhere. I'll see if I can find it. So this is an Arrowhead. And you wanted to do, what was your goal that you set in new business for that month?
I think it was more of a 90-day challenge. I wanted 50 high ticket clients in 100 days was the goal.
Nice. And so here it is. So here, if you look on the left on this, here's a text message. This is with our guys. Like there's Shaners, there's Dave, there's Clayton, there's Ron, and we're posting these numbers. And if you look at them, these aren't total revenue numbers for the month, guys. So this happens to be April, it looks like. Share your total new business package revenue for April. Shane, $27,000. Dave, $51,250. That's what you did right there. Clayton did $20K in new business. Ron did a little over $23,000 in new business. Right? So you did 51 grand in new business in 1 month. And guys, I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably thinking, okay, well, is that like a 12-month paid in full? No. These are 9-week programs. These are 9-week programs, meaning in 60 days, these guys are all renewing. Okay. This isn't some giant piff thing. That 51 grand is coming in those 2 months. So, I mean, that's a lot of money, guys. That's a lot of money. And that's how you can, like, this changes the game on it. So we're going to explain that in just a second. But let's take a look at back to our example here, right? So if you're running the standard play that everybody in the world is doing, and you sign up 6 out of 100 leads, okay? Total expenses are just under $3 grand, $2,980. Your total income is just under $2,400. So you're losing almost $600 a month, okay? The way we do it, okay? We sell a higher ticket program. Higher ticket doesn't mean paid in full, okay? It doesn't mean it's a 12-month paid in full. We're selling a 9-week program, and our average rate is probably $3,000. We do have one that's a little bit less. We also have one that is more, right? If you're watching this and you saw the post I made about this training, you saw a post with Taryn in there, a screenshot of the text message she sent over. She signed up one at $6,000 on a 9-week program. $6,000. Okay. $6 grand. That's the equivalent of 38 group memberships for her. 38 with one sale. That is the power of high ticket. I'm not saying all of your people are going to sign up on high ticket, but it takes freaking one, and you make all of your expenses back. That's the difference. In her case, many times more, right? So that's kind of the math on it. Like, if your expenses are $2,980 and you just convert one at a $3,000 program, holy shit, you've made all your money back. Everything else from there on out is complete gravy on top. You know how much easier and less pressure that is when you do that. I guess that begs the question then, how the hell do you sign up somebody for $3,000 for a 9-week program? And Dave, do you want to kind of give us a sneak peek on that one?
Yeah, like, where should we start? Should we start at the beginning, or just how the conversation is different?
I guess so. Let's start where our viewers are going to be. So
Okay.
We've got some, gym owners watching, like, cool.
Yeah.
This is basically what I've done when I did paid ads. Guilty as charged. This is why it's not working. This is why I'm stuck. This is why my revenue might be higher, but I'm making no more money. So what would you do differently? This lead comes in from a paid ad. What the hell do you do differently from the minute it comes in to the minute they pay you $3,000?
Yeah, first step is I'm going to put it in a bucket. So I'm going to introduce the discovery call. Because here's the thing, these are ice cold leads coming in the pipeline, right? So these 40 that scheduled, I'm not setting up 40 consults. That is just a colossal time sunk pain in the butt. So I'm gonna book a discovery call with all 40 of these. Okay. Out of those 40, I'm gonna use my bucket strategy. So really there's 3 buckets out there. Okay. This 7-minute call is going to allow me to figure out what bucket they're going in. So first bucket is, I just want to come move and sweat. Amazing. Guess what? I don't have to do a deeper dive, what we call a perfect consult with that person. There's that person that, hey, there's a little bit of pain there. They need a little bit of accountability, like that kind of the mid-ticket bucket, this $399 that you're offering. Like, that's my second bucket. What I'm looking for, though, is my unicorn bucket. Okay. So out of these, let's just say 40, and let's say that 12 of them show up for the DC. Here's what the math is. Out of those 12, in a 7 to 10 minute call, I will have a great conversation with 3 of them. I will have a great conversation with 3 of those. Out of those 3, one of them will be the person that signs up for the $3,000 program. So then I'm not having to do this deep dive with every single person coming in. I already know where they're at. Sometimes it's a 15, 20-minute strategy thing. We're going to move and sweat is this. Sometimes I'm going to poke and prod, say, hey, you need some accountability, you need support. Here's a bunch of support documents, $399. But I'm going to go all in with those 3. And we're going to talk about their story. We're going to talk about what they're struggling with. We're going to talk about what the weight represents. We're going to talk about what they want in life. That's the perfect person for the mentorship program. And the beautiful thing is, I only have to sign up one of those 3. So that's how the song and dance starts. It's like, I'm going to introduce to the discovery call. It's almost like I'm going to interview them. I'm interviewing them like, okay, what program is going to be the best fit? Then based off of what bucket they're in, I know, okay, I'm going to have to bring some energy. I'm going to have to bring some time. I'm going to have to bring, Kool-Aid Dave to this conversation, or, hey, this person's going to come in, they're going to bang around some weights. They're here. That's the really simple math. That's what I stress to Shaner's. Perfect example, Shane. His closing percentage is very similar to this. If you ask Shane, he's probably a C closer, right? He's probably his sales skills are a C. So our entire thing, we should probably have had it on his screensaver. It's just get one. That's all I want with Shaner is get one. You're going to sign up what we call our Tom Brady offer. And Shane brings in $4,000 to $5,000 in new business. And our numbers are very similar to the numbers that you typed out, Scott. The difference is he finds his one unicorn. So that's where I'm starting first, is introducing the discovery call.
Yeah. 5-10 minute call, and it sets it up to this being more than a commodity. I mean, at the end of the day, most of you guys are selling workouts. You're selling a commodity. You're selling the same thing everybody else does around you, just with a different flair on it. Maybe yours is more functional training. Maybe yours is more, right, traditional strength training based. Maybe yours is whatever. But bottom line is we're all slinging workouts out there. Most people need more than workouts. And people aren't going to pay much more for workouts when they can go to all these different places. And chances are your competitors are undercutting you too, right? There's a max if you're selling a commodity. But at the end of the day, if you want to make more money, solve bigger problems, solve the real reason that they're coming to you. They're not coming into you to work out. Only like 10% of people are coming into you to work out. Okay. The rest of them are coming in to solve a problem. And you need to have a high ticket mentorship program for them to take them by the hand and help them make a change in their life. That's it. That's it. And what Dave was talking about, like our high ticket, we have 3 tiers. Okay. And we have an offer for people who have a really strong pain or desire to change. That's our high ticket mentorship. This is something that you'll be selling in your gym for $2,000 to $8,000 for a 9-week mentorship. Okay. Then you have your Tom Brady offer. This is your backup offer. We call it a Tom Brady offer because you can win a championship with a backup quarterback, which was that's how Tom Brady started his career. Okay. This could be $599 to $1,499. This is like your 6-week nutrition accountability. If you're running a 6-week challenge, this is it. Okay. That's what it is. And we suggest going a little bit higher, $599 and up for it. And then the third thing, some people just want to come in there. They don't care about losing weight or anything like that. They're just like, I just want a place to work out. I'm not going to do it on my own. I want a babysitter, or I just want to move, sweat, join a community. Cool. That's our workouts only program. But the idea is you need to have all 3, whereas everybody only has 2 or 3. The way we've been able to grow to 6 gyms, scale the living shit out of it, and make a boatload of money and not work in the gyms is by having higher ticket offers. Not everybody's going to do it, but enough of them will. And you will watch. You can double your average revenue per member per month without doubling the price for everybody. It's just you have an option 1 and a 2 and a 3. Simple as that. That's what it is. So let's show you the math of, we won't even show you ours this time. We show our P&Ls a lot right here, right? Here's a quarterly P&L that we show you, but let's show you the math of marketing with somebody that follows our systems and actually runs paid ads. Let's look at specifically how she's running her paid ads and her numbers as they are opposed to what we just outlined with the average gym. So let's see if I can find it. Here it is. So we'll take a look at Shannon's numbers. We're looking at a 5-month period between February and June when she started paid ads with this kind of a system. Her numbers are a lot different than you see. Okay, first thing that you'll notice is that her return on ad spend, looking purely at ad spend, okay, not the cost to have somebody run her ads, okay, but the ad spend, 9.3x. Shit, that's really good. That's really good. Okay, now remember, let's include the cost to run it. Okay, the cost to run it, she uses gymleads.io. And they actually run the ads, but they actually schedule appointments. They have somebody who manually calls and schedules it within minutes. Highly recommended, guys. It's what we use. We help kind of design it too, because the no-show rates on consults are just so high. But if you schedule a DC, have somebody get to them within leads, you'll schedule way more likelihood of them showing up. Okay. But 6.5x. Okay. She got including the cost of somebody to do the lead nurture and run her ad campaigns. She basically, it's a money machine. She put in $1,000 and she gets out $6,500. That's a 6.5x return on ad spend. That's unbelievable, guys. That's just unheard of. Okay. That does not happen without a high ticket offer. Hers happens to be $3,500 for 9 weeks. Okay. She true core, right? CrossFit gym also does overlapping personal training, according to how we teach overlapping personal training. She's done incredible. So you can see the return on ad spend, and it changed a little bit. In February, it was sky high, 14.4. That's because we ran a reactivation campaign on all our old contacts. That's why. You see it dip March, April, and May to 3.5, 2.9, 3.7x. That's still really good, guys. That's still like top 1%. Top 1%. But then you'll see it climbs again to 7.8. 7.8. Why does it go to almost 8x ROI in June? It's because we changed the process on it. Instead of having the appointment schedulers call these people up and schedule them in for consultations, exactly what Dave was illustrating before, that 5-minute phone call, that 5 to 10 minute phone call, the discovery call, we had the appointment schedulers schedule the discovery call first. And what happened is we got a lot more people to show up. We got a lot more people across the board. And so she closed a lot more. If you look at, let's look at some other numbers. So yeah, average closing rate. Look at it. In June, it was $3,100 because some people bought high ticket, but some people didn't, right? Her average close was $3,145. That's bananas, guys. That means she signs up one person, like we talked about, one freaking person. All her expenses are taken care of. That's pretty amazing. Okay. In May, $3,760. $3,760 was her average close for a 9-week program. That's bananas. Okay. This is why she's gone from the 30s, in the mid 30s in revenue to over $70,000 a month. This is why. Okay. So you see her numbers are looking really, really good. On average, her costs per lead has oscillated. It's at $15 overall, $15 a lead overall, which is good. That's competitive. Sometimes they're higher. This is really dependent on your area, guys. There's only so much magic that can be done. Some of you on really non-competitive markets, and you can nail $6 to $10 leads for a very long period of time. And some of you are more competitive areas, and you're going to be looking at like $22 a lead. We've got gyms that are in both. We've got gyms in lower demographic, less competitive, and we've got them in like hyper competitive things. So the math just works out a little bit different for everybody. But hers is kind of right on par with the example that we use, 15x. Now, if Shannon ran the old bullshit she was doing years ago, she would not be where she's at. She would be stuck in the 30s with low profit and a lot of freaking work on our hands. Do you want to see how this has evolved her business over a period of a couple of years? And I know if you've seen some of her stuff, you've seen this before, but she's gone from working with 195 clients down to working with 112 clients. But her revenue has gone from the 30K a month to over 70K a month. She's actually downsized her space from 11,000 square feet to 4,000 square feet. And it's absolutely absurd what that does to your profits. And how does that change your life? It's easier, it's less work, it's way more freaking money, and it skyrockets your profit. And it allows you to work from home just a few hours a week and raise your cute little daughter, right? And have the time to spend with your family and the money to have absolute freedom. And that, for Dave and I, that's the dream, man. We've been through years upon years, 8 years. And that's just in the gyms. Like, let's not count our careers before that. What you did, Dave, and what I did. But we were grinding away for over 8 years before we built a business where we had freedom. That's how long it took. Missy, jealous of $15. You know what? We should actually take a look into yours too. And I think I know who's running your ads, and he's good too. But yeah, like I said, I think I know. But $15, it might be unrealistic for some of you guys. What Jim Leeds is doing,
Missy's like at 40 or 50 the last time I talked with her. So
yeah, really.
that's I mean, look at Scottsdale. Scottsdale is 40 or 50. So 15 is being very, very conservative.
Yeah. And this is where it's tough, guys. Like I gave you examples based on $15 cost per leads. Your cost legitimately can be double or more than that in certain areas. So I'm kind of giving you an average of what I see the most, kind of like the median on all these numbers. Some of you guys will have a $35, $40 cost per lead, but maybe your show rate's a little bit higher too. So this is all obviously dependent on you guys, but this is what we see the most. And this is why so many people freaking struggle. It's just the math doesn't add up. And we didn't even talk about like really going into this churn. In this model, let's assume you get 0 organic leads, which we do see too. But at this model right here, okay, where you got 100 leads, here are your exact costs, here's your exact result. You have 150 members, say, 6% churn, which is not bad at all. If you're losing 9 members a month, this means, and you're bringing in 6, this means you are on the decline. Not only are you losing money every month on your ads, but you are also declining membership slightly over time. I don't know where equilibrium comes at. I guess we can figure that out mathematically. 6% churn, what is that? It'd be like 150 times 6 is 9. So we go 6 divided by 0.06, 100 members. If you took this same path, you would eventually decline to 100 members a month before you hit your equilibrium. Now, your numbers could be a little bit better. So your equilibrium might be 150, or maybe you sign up 3 organically a month. So 150 members is your equilibrium. The bottom line is every market has an equilibrium. And because churn always eats at your membership base, the more successful you are, the more you have to sign up every month just to hold your ground. And that's where we get stuck. Yeah, you can get better on acquisition, but again, the math is going to limit you. In general, the more you advertise, the less effective it is. So you're always really going to have an equilibrium. And that is why price is so effing important. Every market is going to have an equilibrium. Sometimes it's 120 members. Sometimes it's 600. When you got a unicorn location, lack of competition, population density, nobody else is advertising, you're like the only big game in town, you can freaking kill it. But guess what? That's like less than 1% of locations. And I know gym owners who have a unicorn location, but they can't duplicate it in their other ones because it's just a special location. Congrats, you won the lottery. You know, it's like the person who lives in 97 and they drink every day and they smoke for 70 years. Yeah, it can be done, right? Like, congrats, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't eat healthy and work out and take care of yourself. Congrats, you won the lottery. Doesn't mean you did shit right. You know, you just drew a lucky number. And I'm not saying they're not good operators. I'm just saying that not everybody has a unicorn location. Okay. Everybody has an equilibrium, and it's somewhere between 100 and 600 members. That's all I'm saying. And no matter what, your price becomes important. And if you want to double your revenue and more than triple your profits, the hardest way on planet Earth is to double your membership. The easiest way is just to double your average client value. And you do that by having your 3 tiers: your high ticket mentorship, your mid ticket Tom Brady, and your low ticket workouts only commodity service. Did I miss anything, Dave?
Dude, that's slam dunk. I mean, you absolutely nailed it. And don't forget too, if you're also playing just a little bit in the organic game, okay, just a little bit, then that's going to drive in another, let's just say worst case scenario, you're going to have 4 more conversations organically. But those 4 are going to be 10 out of 10 amazing conversations because they followed your content for probably 3, 6, 9 months. So even if you're closing half of them at higher ticket programs, then all of a sudden you can utilize the paid ads for just icing on top of the cake. And that's what can push your new business revenue to 6, 8, 10K. So when you do both of them and you do them both well, I mean, that's when you can change the world.
Absolutely. It's absolutely when you can change the world. And paid ads are great. Okay. Paid ads can help you accelerate and get leverage. There's a risk to them. No matter what, you don't know. These numbers are not set in stone. You might get way worse. You might get a little bit better. But the bottom line, there's always a risk to it. The great thing is, though, is like you just don't want to rely solely on paid ads.
Sure.
Because Facebook can just bitch slap you in a second, right? They've done it multiple times. Google Ads did the same thing, right? what was it, around 2019 or something? There was a big face, like right when that iOS update came, nobody could get paid ads working for a long period of time. Now, low cost per leads are still coming back into the game, right? When you have somebody operating and running it well, you can get it. But at the end of the day, you don't want to rely solely on paid ads. If that's your only pole in the water, you might be very vulnerable, especially if you have lower prices. The lower prices you have, the higher churn you're going to see. That's just a matter of fact. That's just a matter of fact. So like the organic game is something, I mean, we can talk for another 3 hours on how to do it, but organic is so invaluable. You need to do it because this is an evergreen strategy that will work no matter what the in platform is, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or X or whatever, right? Rumble, it doesn't matter. If you know how to put out there what you do and how to talk to people and you have a really good organic strategy, you will be invincible. And the great thing about organic strategies, they're free. All it takes is a little bit of know-how and a little bit of time. You can get massive leverage. We could be here for hours training you on it, but we have a done for you organic system that we give everybody that works with us. And people can really change their business just from that, let alone paid ads. And you've probably seen it before. I should probably change up some of these, but like Hugh Green's a perfect example. He's doing $9,000 a month before he came to us. He finished his second month at 38.5K in revenue. No paid ads, all organic. He didn't have any money to do paid ads. That's the power of it. And it doesn't mean you're DM spamming 100 people a day. That's bullshit. Nobody wants to be that guy. I'm not going to be. I don't feel good about it. I'm not going to do that. That's not what this strategy is. You don't have to do it. So we're always a two-pronged approach, guys. You need an organic strategy. You need an organic, a paid strategy. You need both. And you need to be actively working in both. You will build a very strong, resilient business doing both. And Dave is right. You mentioned like paid ads. You're just putting it out there to people scrolling. They're just scrolling on their phone. Oh, that was good. Maybe I'll enter. So you're working with like the coldest of the cold. A few diamonds in the rough there, right? You only need one diamond in the rough to make it work with our system. But when you put out organic content, you're just attracting high ticket people into your gym. People who resonate with your message, who really are ready to change in their lives. And they are slam dunk high ticket people. And that's powerful. We brought up Shannon Logan before. You know, here's a screenshot of her pushing this out in our group, went 3 for 3 on perfect consults from the organic social media push. And then a comment she says, make that 4 for 4 with the 5th consult coming up. I don't know where, this is only 2 weeks into it. I don't know where she finished up. But I do know even just 4 of those at $3,500, that was $14,000 she created out of thin air in 2 weeks for free. Put that on top of how she was doing her paid ads. That's why she has gone from the 30s to over 70K a month in revenue. It's not by volume. Remember, she went from 195 clients to 112. It's not by volume, guys. Less is more. Less clients, more money. That's the name of the game. And then you can get a William Wallace shirt like this. Gym Owner Freedom. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, we're like almost 50 minutes into it, Dave. Anything that we got to add on it?
I mean, you said something earlier on. Like, I think a lot of people, I never want to work with 150 clients in the studio. Like for me, and like if that's you, that's fine. Like for me personally, like I get stressed with just that number. Like 150 clients, like my gosh, I would rather have 50 to 60 that are just going all out, that their lives are changing, and their transformation is so insane that they're sending me referrals and I don't have to do anything paid in the future. So like that you kept us, you said at 150, and I noticed I froze up a little bit just because 150 clients to me, it's just, people don't truly respect something unless they're really invested in it. Me included, you included, everybody out there. So when someone's spending, you know, 400, 500, 600, 800, 1,000, 1,200 bucks a month, we all got in this game for our clients to be compliant. It forces compliance. And what happens when you force compliance, right? Then the results happen. So 150 people is just, I know that's a number that a lot of places throw out there. For me, I think that's even that's too many members.
I agree. Like what is it, that scientific study that I can't remember what it is, but humans are built to like live in tribes of, it's somewhere between 100 and 200 people. is the max amount of relationships that you can really sustain. It's the same thing with chimps. When they study chimps and stuff like that, it gets too big and then the groups splinter off. And the bottom line is you can't have that many good relationships in your life. And it's not just in your gym, right? Like think of that in your gym. You got 150 in your gym, but what about your personal life and your family and your friends? You can't sustain that many good relationships. It's not how we're meant to do things. And I'm with you, Dave. Like, let's get a small group of our people that completely value what we do, that we make a difference in their freaking lives. It's not just we're rep counters, right? We watch the time. We throw some shit on a whiteboard and watch them do stuff. Like, let's change some freaking lives and like make an impact. That's why we got into this business in the first place. Less is more. It just is. It just is. So that's a good one to leave it on, Dave. I love it. And one thing I want to let you guys know too, we 100% booked. We only work with we only work with a small amount of gym owners at a time. In PT Legends is what we do. Dave and I and Josh and Will, we can't handle many because we go all in with you to change your business and help you do what we have done. We completely filled up for the new one starting in October. That being said, that was going to be our last one this year, but it just filled up within a week and a half of us really announcing it. So what we're going to do, we don't have the date set yet. We are going to start one up in November this year, so you can be ready to crush this come January, February. Okay. So we're going to run a new group. We're capping it at 10, Dave.
Yep.
10 is all that we have. Otherwise, the level of our service deteriorates. We can't get you. And guys, we're with you 3 times a week. You're talking to Dave and I 3 times a week. Okay. So very hands-on. We're going to help you every step of the way do exactly this. So if you're interested in that, this one will be the last chance you have to crush January, February, March 2024 out of the gates. Send me a DM or comment, call below. We can hop on a call. Tell us where you're at. Okay, we'll go over where you're at, what your constraints are. I'll tell you what I would do if I were you, and I can show you our 8-week program that we can get you ready to just absolutely annihilate this and make 2024 your year. And if you do it, that's great. If not, at least you're going to leave with a great game plan, and you're going to have an idea of what to do if you want to try it on your own, which is fair, right? So that's all we got. Hey, just a quick reminder to everybody, if you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 more this month, every month, by making more money with less clients with transformational programs and create a consistent flow of high quality leads, you can learn more about what it's like to work with me and my team at PT Legends and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. It is such a no-brainer that it more than pays for itself when we teach you how to enroll just two case study clients. Really, that's it. So go to CoachScottCarpenter.com and learn more about it. That's all we got. I hope you guys enjoyed the math of it, seeing what's out there in the marketplace, seeing what can be done. This happens all the time, guys. So appreciate it. We will see you next week, Thursday, 12 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. EST, right here in the Gym Owner Freedom Group. Thank you so much, guys. Dave, we'll catch you later. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 a month or more this month by making more money with less clients and create a consistent flow of high-quality leads, you can learn about what it's like to work with me and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. And if you got any value out of this episode, please pay it forward and leave a review for this show. It helps other gym owners find the answers to the huge problems that we all share. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.